lunch real quick, but had to pop on. I've been checking out this show called Outer Range. You may have heard about it. It's on Amazon Prime or Prime Video. I guess and it's been a while because I think I left off with Amazon Prime, maybe with the end of Bosch, which now has Bosch Legacy or Legacy Bosch. So one of my favorite characters in Harry Bosch will be coming back, him and his daughter, Mads. But I think damn, I'm trying to think if even Bosch was new episode every Friday. I thought they just put the season out there on Amazon Prime. Anyway, Outer Range, you're getting 2 episodes per week. So there are a total of 4 episodes out there already. The show stars Josh Brolin, Thanos, or my man from Sicario, and then Soldado, I guess the sequel. But Josh Brolin, I think the other guy's name is Tom Pelphrey, who was the crazy brother on Ozark. Incidentally, at the end of the week, we get the final 7 episodes of Ozark, right? So my weekend is shot. I got to see how the Bird family wraps it up, but we'll get back to that later. Outer Range. So, here we have another family, the Abbotts. Josh Brolin plays Royal Abbott. But here's another family out in the great Northwest. I can't remember if it's Wyoming, Montana, or something else. But a family who has owned an embarrassing amount of land for over a century, I believe. Maybe 2 centuries might be pushing it. But in his western pasture alone is like 1,200 acres. So he's a little bit different from Yellowstone and Kevin Costner's John Dutton and the Dutton family. He's a little bit different. Well, neither one of them really have a bunch of money, to be honest with you. But Dutton seems to have a little more resources. We know John Dutton has a lot more power, as he was the game commissioner or whatever. He's running he was sleeping with the governor. He's running for the governor office. His son, Jamie, not Jamie. I can't think of the other cat's name off the top of my mind. Casey. Casey is the new game commissioner or whatever. Not quite as influential or as powerful as the Dutton family. So with Brolin, he's married. He has this wife that stuck it out with him throughout the years. He has 2 sons. I can't remember their names. Like I've been watching it, but I'm getting ready to get why it's kind of a slow build. The big thing that's going on here, and it's been very slow to reveal much about it, but the big difference here between it and Yellowstone is that this large hole pops up on Royal Abbott's property. I don't know, 20-foot circumference or whatever, but we don't know much about it. 4 episodes in, he's just stared at it a couple of times. He's cursed at it a couple of times. He was thrown into it at the end of episode 1, so they gave you a nice cliffhanger to bring you back to episode 2. But we don't know what it does. There's this buffalo walking around with 2 arrows in its side. Like I said, Royal comes back from the hole after being thrown into it. He comes back in this, spoiler alert, comes back in the 2nd episode. So I think, and then maybe in the 3rd episode, we get an idea of what may have happened, and that the hole might transport us to another dimension or a parallel universe or something. And in that dimension, Royal's wife comes up to him and tells him that he's been dead for 2 years. The other thing here, like I said, was some Some drama going on with the family. Tom Pelfrey's wife has apparently been missing for 9 months. And it sounds like a lot of people are starting to come up missing in various ways. But Tom Pelfrey's wife has been missing. They have a daughter. And Pelfrey is kind of a mess because he hasn't been able to get any answers. The investigation is going slow. So he's kind of a mess again. But he ends up killing one of 3 brothers on the neighboring ranch, from the neighboring ranch's family, or the owners of that ranch. So it's another group of brothers. Interestingly enough, the father of that group is Jamie's father from Yellowstone, who's no longer alive on Yellowstone because Jamie offed his on switch at the end of last season in order to make everything right for the next the upcoming season of Yellowstone. So there's a rivalry between the two families. I can't remember the name of the Tillersons. I think it's the Tillerson Ranch. The Tillersons have money, and they want the Western pasture from the Abbotts. They've paid some local official, I don't know what his name is, but they've paid him to decide in their favor that they got to move, that they have to cede this land to the Tillersons. And then the Tillersons go and tell, well, the father goes and tells one of his sons, make $1 million offer to the Abbotts to expedite this. They don't want to wait until the hearing goes off because the father really wants this land. We're also getting some hints that the father is familiar with, he always plays weird characters, that actor. I can't remember his name. But the father has some kind of familiarity with this hole in the ground. And then there's some kind of rocks that a couple of characters have had. One has well, I'll get to her in a second. So it's kind of a lot of unknowns that we've been shown. We don't know what the hell is going on. We're just really learning a lot about Royal Abbott, Josh Brolin. He's just been trying to hold on to this property, trying to raise his 3 boys. We got another person interested in the rodeo. What's new is, like I said, it's out in the great Northwest. But one of his sons is trying to be, Rhett, I think is his name, is trying to be a rodeo star. He's sleeping with all the women, the young women in the town. And the family is being investigated by the local sheriff or acting sheriff, who's played by a native woman. And it's kind of similar to a show called Fortitude that was also on Amazon Prime, who had a prominent law enforcement. I think she was just an officer. But she was like Eskimo or something, or Eskimoan or something. From if you're familiar with Fortitude, that was also on Prime Video, you can check that series out. It was okay. It was okay. First season might have been the best though. But so yeah, this sheriff is trying to secure the sheriff's office, but she's also trying to find out what happened to this Tillerson son. The body of the Tillerson son reappeared after Royal threw it into the hole. So again, things do go into this hole, but 2 things have come back out of the hole. So we don't really know where this hole leads to. And it's taken quite a while for the show to really circle back around to what the hell this hole is about and what's going on the other side of it. Another thing that happened I think in the 4th episode was this mountain, or a mountaintop, where the Tillerson son was found. It briefly disappeared for a while. And when it reappeared was when the granddaughter of the Abbott family, she goes up into the mountain on their property and discovers the body. For some reason, Royal decided to call the police and had a sheriff come out, and thinking maybe that enough days have passed by that the investigation won't turn towards the family. But everybody's story has a bunch of hole in it, and nobody really has any good alibis. So the sheriff is kind of wise and, crossing her T's, checking her P's and Q's, however you want to look at it, and trying to make sure that, she gets to the bottom of what's happened. And then in the 4th episode, at the end of it, we see this confrontation between the two patriarchs of the family, Royal and then Papa Tillerson. I don't know what his first name is. Tillerson he's starting to act a little wild. One minute he's on some air, he's hooked up to he's getting some assistance with his breathing, and he's bedridden. The next day he's out moving about. So it seems like a lot to go on with this whole is tied to him and something that may have occurred in his childhood. So he might be the person that we need to watch to get our answers from. In the meantime, Royal is just trying to keep his son out of prison, do right by his family. He's trying to run his ranch, so that it stays afloat. But he's mad as hell for some reason. And he said both of his parents died when he was a kid. He gives this speech, I want to say, maybe in the 3rd episode. He wants to pray. Oh, and we don't know how this hole might have changed him in any kind of way. But he says that he wants to pray for to say grace before they eat, and he cusses God out. He cusses God the hell out and says that the world is changing in horrible ways. He's like, I'm done asking for signs and help. He was like, man, you owe it to me to show me what the hell, why all this stuff is happening, and why are things going to hell in a handbasket. I feel like I've said a version of this speech myself throughout, over the course of the years. But he startles the hell out of his family that he would speak to God in this manner, especially aloud in front of others. But he's really pissed off. The last note that I get into here is there is another character. It's this young lady. She's kind of like a drifter. She shows up on the Abbott Ranch, and she's weird as shit. Like I said, a bit of a hippie. And she asks to stay on the property, if she can camp out on the property for an indefinite amount of time. In the 1st episode, she actually pushes Royal into the hole. Like somehow she knew he would be okay or something. But when Royal was out there disposing of the Tillerson body, going to dump the body, this girl, and I cannot remember her name, she pops up and pushes Royal into the hole. And when he comes back, he's not immediately like, bro, you got to get off of my land. You got to get off of my property, or just kill her. They have some meetings between one another, and Royal is kind of like trying to feel her out. He's a bit suspicious of her. Like, what does she know? How was she able? I think she had some money to her or something. I think she made like an offer to buy the land or something. But supposedly she lets it out in like episode 3. She tells the granddaughter that she feels like she's been guided or directed to the land, the ranch, the Abbott Ranch. She feels like she's been sent there her entire life. And then they're on the mountain that disappeared. There's this shape up on the side of the mountain that looks like the brand of the ranch turned on its side. The brand is just an A with a circle around it. And up on this mountaintop, there's an A like this. It's kind of faint, but you can see it. And it's something that she's been drawing in this sketchbook that she has. And she's just walking around on this, all over this land, just like something there. She has some connection to something there, which is also a connection to the whole. So that's kind of where we are. Like I said, in 4 episodes, we haven't received a lot of answers. We just got family drama going on, character development. Rhett is trying to date this, or has a relationship growing with this young lady who just came home from college or something. He's trying to figure his life out. The other brother, Tom Pelfrey's character, is trying to he's trying to just find a way to put his life back together and continue on as a single parent. And then of course Mama Abbott, she's just along for the ride, you know, but trying to stand by her man. But she's worried now that at a very challenging moment when one of the sons could actually go off to prison, she's wondering why Royal is not including her in his secrets or whatever is going on. The only thing is Royal doesn't really know what the hell is going on. He really doesn't know how to explain all of this stuff. He's just trying to keep his property and hold his family together. In closing, the last thing here is in the 4th episode, as the investigation is kind of zooming in on Rhett, or one of the brothers being the killer, Royal sits down for this poker game against whatever her name is, the young lady that's staying on his property. And he bets her, after she's won all this money from other people in the bar. They play 5-card, whatever, stud or whatever it is, 5-card poker, I don't know. But he bets her, if he wins the game, the pot, he will give her all the land in the West Pasture that the Tillerson dude wants. He says, and what I want in return, I'll bet that against the little piece of this necklace that she wears that has some really weird stone in it. And it's kind of a good moment, a good scene for Royal, who's shown he's somewhat of a hustler, you know, and a dude with many tricks up his sleeve. And I think the girl had 5 of a kind, maybe queen high. And then Royal had 2 pairs. And they go through the bet and whatnot. I think 5 of a kind beats. I don't play poker, but I think that might beat 2 pairs. Anyway, they put the hand down, and Royal has, I think it's called a boat, 3 kings and 2 queens. And he wins the pot. He gets out in the car, and he pulls the card that he put up his sleeve, which was a deuce, deuce of hearts. He throws that on his seat, and then he has her necklace. So that's kind of where we're left off through 4 episodes, is that he's gotten the better of the young lady. And then he's also gotten one over on the sheriff, because he broke into her office while he was picking up his sons and stole a key piece of evidence, which was a belt buckle from the Tillerson boy that had Rhett's blood on it. But the other brother is the one who beat Tillerson to death. So that's what, you know, Royal has just shown that he's willing to do anything to preserve his family, which most of us are like that. So anyway, you know, we're a couple of days away from episode 5. I'm not familiar if there's 8 episodes or 10 episodes. But hopefully things pick up with showing us what the hell is going on. Again, like I said in the last episode 4 that's out there right now, it was a showdown between the 2 patriarchs. Tillerson got the better of Royal in that situation and knocked him out or beat him up. And then he went back home to his ranch or his cabin, his supersized cabin or whatever. So that's kind of what we got to deal with to this point. My name is Wood. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. If you know what the hell is going on the show, leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. I had a dude who just told me some very complex, I won't subscriber, or he watched the video, or he just left his opinion, but he told me everything that was going on with another show that I was doing recaps on, Apple's Severance. And he has a phenomenal idea or premise for the show and what's going on. But I just think his idea is way bigger than anybody in the writing room, the writer's room for Severance. But I heard him out. Anyway, I got